Hi, this is Stacia, and today we're going to take a look at a training game. Now, this was actually a blitz game, but every now and then I look at one of these if they're really interesting, and this one will not disappoint. So we're going to get wild this game because it was a King's Gambit Wild Cunningham variation. So F4 is the King's Gambit. My opponent accepted. Knight F3. And bishop e7 was played. So the idea is that they're creating a battery, and a lot of times black will go ahead and check on h4. If you take with the knight, you're in check again and you have to move your king, right? Well, let's see what happens. Bishop to c4. And I got this move from a book by John Shaw, I believe. And black went ahead with bishop h4 check. I do not take the bishop. I play g3. And when they take with the pawn, okay, this looks scary, I know. So I castle. And we're basically giving up all our king side pawns and our king safety for a huge initiative. So these games are very, very interesting, and both sides are on the edge of losing for the most part. Okay, so my opponent played g2 here. Usually they go pawn takes h2 check, and you play king h1, and instead of hiding behind your own wall of pawns, you hide behind your enemy, the enemy pawn. Yeah, it's a very strange opening. Okay, but he played this, and I think I should take it. And let's just check with the engine. My other option was to play bishop check, and after king takes, double check. But then if I'm not mating him, I think I'm going to be in a lot of trouble because this threat is going to be there. Well, let's try it. So takes, check. Yeah, why not here? Well, I guess there's... I mean, the problem with a move like this is that I think the king can actually come out and attack the knight. This doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right for either side. I honestly don't know what's happening. I'm going to turn on the engine. It says black's winning after king to e8. Okay, so this would be rook takes g7, threatening this. I guess black doesn't care. They're going to let me play that. Why can't I do that? Wow, check this out. Queen to e7, pinning the knight to the rook. Yeah, these lines are insane, but black's winning here. Black's developing and white's... Yeah, white's in huge trouble. Okay, I don't like that line. Okay, let's go back. So computer agrees that king takes is the best move. So I did that. Okay, my opponent played knight to f6. Now, this attacks a pawn, but I think really he just wants to get out of dodge as soon as possible and castle, which I can hardly blame him. So I probably should sacrifice here or play e5. Oh yeah, I could take the bishop. I think that's what I actually did. Yeah, so I took this. Yeah, the problem with f6 is that this bishop used to be defended, and after knight f6 it isn't anymore. So I was able to take, but now he does castle. So interesting position. So I guess I'm a piece up. I'm usually not material up, but then again I'm down a few pawns, so yeah, I don't know what's happening. Computer says white's winning. Wow. Okay, so you see what I mean? Like, okay, knight f5 wins. apparently, but maybe it's just the material advantage the computer likes. I played e5, which is good. Knight to e4 was played. Yeah, because what else? And I thought the knight would be vulnerable here. I went queen to g4. Now, I know that I'm stepping in line with the bishop here, but I'm also attacking the knight, and I'm also threatening knight f5, which would threaten mate. And yeah, things are just crazy, but I should have looked closer at the move d5 here, which is what was played. Yeah, it has to be best. After d5, things get crazy. Okay, computer likes knight f5. I think that's actually what I played because it's hard to find another move. If I take the pawn, he has his choices, but he'd probably take my queen. My queen is hanging. I can't take the knight immediately. I can't do en passant because my queen's hanging. So I think knight f5 is the only move. I'm kind of lucky that I had this. That threatens mate. So now he has to deal with that. And so he can't take the bishop because of mate. If he takes the knight, I can simply recapture, but then he takes the bishop, I think. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. He did play g6 in the game, but I'm wondering if he takes, yeah, we take. Oh, I see. The pawn is overworked. Yeah, so then I take. Okay, so this is all fine, and actually, again, the computer says white's winning. But these positions are so dangerous that one wrong move, whoever makes a wrong move will lose, basically. That's why I like playing this way. It's kind of fun. Okay, so g6 was played. So let's see what I should do now. Okay, I do have a check here if I want. But after king g7, my queen's attacked. And I don't know how I defend the knight. Maybe I could do this. But then my bishop falls. Okay. So I decided to, I don't recall exactly. Oh, I played d3. What an interesting move. Okay, so d3, I'm saying go ahead and take my bishop because I'll take your knight. Cool. And then these pawns might be strong. I don't know. The other thing I'm saying is your knight really can't do much. I guess knight g5 might be a move. But if knight g5, maybe I could take this. Because if he takes back... Oh, that's with check. Wait a minute. Yeah, that's losing for me. So that's a huge blunder. Because it comes with check. So probably this move isn't correct then. No, it is correct. Okay. So what was I supposed to do after knight g... or after knight g5 then? If this... Check, really. Check here. Oh, and just take it. Oh, of course. Wow. Was that doing that the whole time? How did I not see that? Okay. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm blundering after the game more than during the game. But I remember now that I wanted to play d3 because it's sort of a developing move. And getting more pieces into a Wild Cunningham or a wild game in general is usually a really good idea. And here I'm doing it with tempo against the knight. So yeah, that's why d3 is correct. Okay, so he cannot go knight g5 because it's guarded twice now, queen and bishop. So he took here. Now my idea was rook takes bishop because this g pawn is actually pinned. And here I thought if he takes my bishop, I'll take the knight. That is indeed what happens. Note that I have to be careful not to take with the queen because this would be good for black. At least I think so. Yeah, black's winning now. All right, so I have to take with a pawn. Okay. So it's black's turn. If I was black, I might just play knight c6 or even rook e8 because bishop h6 is coming. Okay, but he played king h8. So let's see what's right. Yeah, I thought maybe getting the knight in is right. Okay. I'm not sure why that move instead of knight c6, but all right, so after this move, bishop g5. Yeah, I like this. I was tempted to play bishop h6, but I felt like bishop h6 and, you know, he could just move his bishop, or move his rook rather, or even just take. Now I'm wondering though. Could he take the rook? This comes with tempo against my queen. Wow. You know what's worse is he's going to have rook g8. I missed this variation. Like he could just either take... I mean, you could just take the queen now. Why not? This must be lost, and it is. So wow, I'm realizing now that bishop g5 is actually a blunder. Yeah, so computer gives +6 if I play bishop h6, but after this move it gives -2. Wow, that's about the biggest blunder I can make. I thought this came with tempo, but I have a history of missing moves where a pawn takes and then threatens something else. So okay, so bishop h6 was more correct, and let's just see a little bit farther. If here, and then king h8, and then bishop h6. Wow, computer wants to sack the rook. Why not take here now? Oh, because checkmate's good for white. Wow. Yeah, there's just no way I can see everything in these positions. That's the funny thing about these. Okay, knight c6. Well, my rook's hanging and their rook's hanging. I guess my rook's not hanging though because the pawn is pinned to mate. And yeah, so computer wants to develop. That's the next thing I would look at. Okay. So luckily my opponent didn't realize that pawn takes rook wins the game for him. And he instead played this move, queen to d4. Yeah, and I was really paranoid about the queen coming into this square. But I do have it very well defended at the moment. So, okay, as white, I think I found a creative move now. We'll see if it's best. Okay, it's not, so maybe it's a mistake, but I played rook takes f7. Yeah, idea, distract the rook and play check. And I didn't fully calculate this, I'll admit, but it just looked good intuitively. But maybe it's not. After this move, I'm wondering about rook takes bishop. Yeah, I guess this is just equal after all this, so probably my move was a big blunder. Let's go back and see what the computer says about it now. Yeah, it does say that, but it's tricky enough that... Yeah, I figured he should take. During the game I thought he would, but he actually ran with his king. And unfortunately, that's a big mistake. When the bishop's on f6, guards a lot of squares, so that's checkmate. Well, So yeah, I honestly feel I deserved to lose this game, like probably 5 times and even more during this analysis.